Hi everyone, good evening, welcome to Transformers, the show number 151. On tonight's show, we've got a stellar episode coming up. We've got discussion, which is going to be our favourite video game. We'll have a Transformers theme. We've got foreplay, is going to be our top 5 movie bots from the 86 show. Plus Rohan is doing the 2022 awards ceremony, so looking forward to that. We've also got Jamie's first in-hand thoughts on Star Saber. All that, plus we've got the sexiness that is Arrowfyre with us on tonight's show. Looking forward to it. Should be a good one. Let's do the intro.
May I have your attention, please? This is the captain of your ship! I'm sorry. Please stop this away! You left me broken hearted! But I never loved you anyway. No, I never loved you anyway. No, I never loved you anyway. No, I never loved you anyway.
Hey, hello, welcome to the show. So this week's show, we're going to start straight away with Jamie. Did anyone not get Star Saber? I didn't get Star Saber, but
Not
looking
me.
at the forums, everyone fucking else did.
I did, but I didn't know.
You
about
guys
it till I got
well.
it, but I got it, yeah. But more on that later.
You had an unexpected saber.
I had an unexpected victory. There you go.
Oh, Panny.
Oh, like Newcastle this season. That's a nice thing to say. You got lots of unexpected victories.
Yeah, that's true.
Passive aggressive comment mostly.
Yeah, a little bit. Ooh. Because we're in third.
Oh, it must be weird.
Let's not start with football straight away. Jamie's got stuff to talk about.
Premier League's on hold anyway. Don't count.
I mean, I guess it is kind of weird. For the UK, it seems to be getting this Haslab, exclusive first. It seems to be over America, or at least we seem to be getting the mail out much more efficiently. And I think people in the UK and Europe are kind of spoiled because you're getting emails to say it's about to be, delivered. Here's the tracking. Where I think in America, depending what state you're in, you're kind of stuffed. So yeah, it seems like everyone's been getting Haslab Victory Saber, which is composed of Star Saber and Victory Leo, a stand, some special effects, screen translucent special effect things, whoosh, and 2 Micromasters, which no one really cares about. Oh, they're kind of cool, but you don't really care. But yeah, so Victory Saber, and as soon as people start arriving, it's the old dilemma of like your pulse racing. Will you get home in time to collect it from your front door before someone else takes it?
So many conversations about posts this week on the forum.
Oh, I know, and the British weather raining down and just waterlogging that nice
Strikes.
cardboard box, which is designed to soak in that water.
No
And
one
then
wants a soggy saber.
Yeah. But you do get that soggy saber, unfortunately, it's the UK. But, yeah, so a lot of people seem to be having heart attacks, and everyone seems to be so hyper vigilant, so if they look, as soon as they opened that box, as soon as there's a blemish, they noticed it, and it was, my God, QC is, it's the next apocalypse, and I can see that because you're getting this thing, which you paid 190 quid, you are going to be hyper vigilant, you're going to be hyper focused on this, and every little detail is just going to be magnified for you. In fact, if you're like me, you had your magnifying glass with a torch going over each part just to sort of look and
Because you've
document.
purchased Hasbro before.
Yes.
We've been burned before.
And that was the thing, you had so many discussions going off about this, saying that, well, Haslab quality control is always shit, so why should you be surprised? It's like, which isn't the most helpful type of comments out there, or, it's mass produced, kind of, but it's not really mass produced, it's only really like one run as far as I'm aware. And that can have its side effects, because normally when they do a batch run, a lot of problems that arise, they can fix for the next batch, but they can't do that here. So if they're not being used to the fact of how to launch something, how to care for something, aftercare, then they're kind of stuffed, because I think the biggest problem was they weren't using plastic clamps, were they, or the chest guards, or any tissue to prevent paint rub. It was just like, here's some nice chrome, and we'll just shove it in there. No chrome guard, clamps, to protect it. No tissue to prevent any rub. And it's the aftercare, I think, is maybe perhaps the biggest problem. And especially when you've got the plastic right against the sort of chrome, and that'll be rubbing when it's moving or whatever. So that's not good. It's not like us guys who have got Vaseline aplenty, and we put that on ourselves to make sure our t-shirts don't rub against it too much when we're moving a lot.
Especially in this weather.
That's why
Yes.
we got it.
Yes,
Too much chafage. Too much.
Usually it's you, Andy, running away from the coal mines. But yeah, it's just like
They still haven't got me. They still haven't got me.
but they've opened a new one, so they'll be coming for you.
I'd seen you here when they get electricity. Anyway, go on.
So you get this sort of box, wonderful, lovely, nice detail, nice sort of pictures. It is good. I have no idea who Victory Saber is or who Star Saber is. Have an inkling, wink, wink. It's meant to be Hasbro's first major Japanese character. I guess if you ignore all the other ones they've done previously. But yeah, it's out there, so you get these nice instructions, which are nice and coloured, and open up, and you get a nice little poster, which makes you kind of feel special. And then you get straight into the box, and that's sort of like out there showing you the extras. The stand's quite
cool.
good. The shield.
That's huge.
I don't think the shield should have been an extra. I think the shield should have been, default, to be honest, with the amount of money you expected to pay. And you've got the sword, and you've got the guns. And then you've got your first look at your sort of Leo Victory, which is a kind of a weird name for a character I didn't really know. And he kind of transforms by splitting in half. That's just awful. I can't do it. You're splitting this robot in half. It's like his groin just ripped apart. It's just, yeah. And I mean, a lot of people were focusing on the groin, especially Rohan. Is like a bit of a gap there. He's not used to seeing that in the groin area. But yeah, and then you've got Victory Saber. Lots of little, I don't know, blemishes and stuff like that, and. But it's stuff you can maybe fix and touch up. Some of it just seems to be dirt as well. But the chrome's the biggest problem. A lot of people seem to have chrome issues, but it's kind of speckled, not applied properly, or it's definitely been rubbing against the plastic, guards. Well, the straps or something else. Aftercare. Some people have talked. They can see thumbprints, etc. And as I said, there's lots of issues. You could have a whole discussion on QC. But I think with me, a lot of it seems to be the aftercare and the lack of thought into something like this. And I think,
is there enough issues to spoil it for you? Would you say?
I not me personally, because I've been hardened with complete disappointment from an early age with Scotland's football, but with Transformers in generally. Recently, the last 2 years, I think the QC issues have got worse. Even though Hasbro Pulse, if you buy from them, even from other retailers, Hasbro Pulse do have such good customer service, and they try to fix and resolve anything within their means. You definitely don't get pushed around and stuff. If they've got the resources, they'll try and help you.
I think the trouble is, though, Jamie, just to that point, is that you're right about the aftercare, and that's great, but the QC issues keep happening still. They haven't plugged the leak. It's still happening.
I mean, I think a lot of the time they're resting on the COVID issues, weren't we? Because the thing is, anytime we try to discuss these things, you never get a real fair discussion, because there's always the fanboys who will forgive Hasbro if Hasbro started to build tanks for Nazi Germany or something. The type of people who just forgive no matter what Hasbro would do, and you're trying to discuss these things with them, and sometimes it's going against a brick wall. And I do think the biggest thing against Hasbro is I think they're too used to producing batches. If it's fuck ups, they'll fix it in the next batch, where they couldn't really do it here. Because the aftercare thing, and that must be an ecological decision to get rid of the plastic clamps, to get, not even have the tissue paper in there to prevent rubs. Someone said, oh, we're getting good eco points, but you're destroying our, toy.
Yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't got at least like a plastic covering or a thin polystyrene. Well, polystyrene is just another form of plastic, but something just acts as a buffer. It's just literally there, a 200 quid figure,
because when it
held
comes to
together with a couple of bits of rope.
Yeah, it's not even rope. They've got plastic on it. That's the thing. There's plastic around it. It's just that the plastic which you would fucking like, we won't use that. Use damn cardboard to hold the figures in and have the damn plastic card. But yeah, even the cardboard, some of the latest figures, that rubs against the paint. And sometimes you pick your Transformers off the cardboard, you'll see the paint marks on the card. So yeah, they've got to come up with some better idea how to transport these things. So, but yeah, and moving on. There you've got your sort of Victory Saber, the two people who make up Victory Saber, Victory Leo and Star Saber, and that was me just getting the sort of toys out and having a good look around, and I was actually, as Paul asked earlier, pleasantly pleased, quite happy with it. They're big lots.
Yeah, definitely.
They're big in the hand, it's like big in the hand, get a good stroke in there, and it's it's something I'm used to doing on a daily basis. And,
what big in hand you are. Right, carry on.
I will have.
You did well to hold the laugh in that long.
But yeah, I mean, it's the only thing is like Victory Leo. I'm a bit disappointed about the whole ghastly way Transformers is splitting in half. Just seems, oh god, it makes me shudder. I'm going to have to do that at some point. And Victor and Star Saber, I do like the robot mode. I like the articulation. He's got an ab crunch, which is better than I can do right now. He's he's got, you can hear that ratchet in his ab crunches. He's got soft ratchets in the arms. He's got like a butterfly joint in the arm, so the arm can open so it can really swing around. Get the camera there. He has got good articulation, but he's also bulky as fuck, so the articulation nearly disappears. It's like I don't know. It's like me trying to escape from a pizza restaurant after I've eaten too much. It's just not going to happen. He's
quite a hefty bot, isn't he? By here, he's quite hefty in hand.
Oh yeah, yes, and it's like, and it's almost like, to me, it's almost like having a masterpiece figure, because I've never really actually owned a genuine Transformer masterpiece figure, and he's big, and you'll see this coming up soon. But as I said, you could do some dynamic poses. I did love doing that. I did love playing around, doing some of the sort of typical walk pose, don't look back in anger pose, all the poses you might do in a Starbucks, queue for coffee. I love the fact he could get two hands to hold his sword, like to that butterfly joint, cool. And that's brilliant. And he's fucking huge. I mean, seriously, it's really difficult for me to take these photos because it's so much bigger compared to your little wee deluxes, But I was having fun. Me and Lynn, not so much, because I was taking photos on the table she was working on. So anytime I was taking a photo, I said, "Me, Lynn, don't breathe." A bit
harsh, Jamie.
She started to go into like shock. But there he is next to Optimus Prime and Rodimus. So there you got your two sort of good-sized Voyagers, and you can see he's giant. He towers over them. But I did love that, having you sort of for your leaders, Although I'm not sure what happened to Rodimus Prime in Victory. I think he just pissed off somewhere, didn't he, or disappear?
He goes off. It's search for a new planet or something.
Bag of chips.
Like that. Yeah, bag of chips. He goes off to get chips. He's gone for the whole series.
I'm going out to go get a pack of smokes. Never come
like
back.
Poochie in The Simpsons. He returns to his home planet.
He's off to get some cheese, like Paul.
He died on his way there.
So some guys are saying on the Transformers UK, DF UK, that it was missing the Brain Master.
Oh, I opened up. I think I've got the Brain Master. I'm not really bothered to check. I don't think I ever will. I don't know if
that's a smaller within
smaller
figure,
robot that goes inside.
You open the head, and then you can see he's got the 8-inch bot there, and I guess the Brain Master is what makes
it's
up
going
his
to be
head.
within that, yeah.
So I must have it then. I must have the Brain Master because
It's missing the instruction. Someone's saying as well. It just seems weirder. Like I've never heard people complaining about it missing bits in Hasbro.
I mean, I've seen it happen before, but it's really weird for something which they've launched, especially when they've got another crowdfunding happening right now, because there's a lot of people that might be so pissed off and getting their money back, but they might cancel what they, the crowdfunding for Diphsaurus Space Chicken.
Funny you should say that, because I was talking to Alexis about this. I said, people are getting Star Saber. I said, are you interested? And he said, not really. He said, I do like the look of Deathsaurus, but he said all of the issues about trying to get replacement parts. And like you said, Jamie, this is probably going to be a one big production run, very unlikely to get replacement parts because they're not going to do multiple runs. That's enough to put you off wanting to go into Deathsaurus, knowing what's happened. If you need to get a replacement part, you could be waiting a hell of a long time.
It's going to be hard for you if you're waiting to say open it for Christmas. What you want to be doing is opening it now and getting in the comments and seeing what they can do.
And I guess if you get it and it turns up and it's got like bits missing, then you are going to say, and also there's a chip of like paint missing from his knee, and you'd probably normally forgive that, but if it's got actual bits of the item missing.
I mean, there's some stuff I can fix. There's other stuff I'm going to kidnap Gav to do. About his NBO issues, keep him in the cage, and he'll sort stuff out for me.
Back to the cage.
Yes, back to the cage. But I made this sort of diorama set just for this guy, and then I realised he's fucking too big for it. He's huge. It's not really quite working out the way I had envisioned it. But
still looks brilliant, mate. Still really does look good.
So I had fun with there, and sort of like a closer up look. But yes, I'm going to eventually transform it. I mean, I'm not going to do an Alexis and wait a year. It's just I look at the spaceship mode, and apart from the 8-inch mode, which is quite good, I do think Star Saber's combined ship mode looks pretty awful. It looks like a big, compartment block with guns on it in space. I just don't get it with a little ship that's like trying to escape as if it's giving birth or something. I don't know. I need to be a fan of the series, and then maybe I'll appreciate it a little bit more.
It gets to this point where they weren't really making, vehicles in disguise. He was the most futuristic looking jet, to the point he's about as aerodynamic as a brick. And,
I guess he's 8-face, isn't he? He's kind of like 8-face.
All blessed be to 8-face.
Poor man, Snapdragon.
But,
you wind your neck in.
But there you got your two little Micromasters who I've completely forgotten their names.
There.
Yeah.
Would you agree with then? Because Thew, he got one from direct from Hasbro, didn't he? And he's already got his unboxing out. And he said that the feel of it, even though it's smaller than Jetfire, that the feel of it in terms of the plastic quality and the build quality was
I did
was
put
better.
them together. If you combine them together, it's the same size as Jetfire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, on his own.
Commander class, isn't he?
Singularly.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite cool the way the hands work. If you close the hands, the wee circle comes out, which you can just fit the weapon into.
Yeah, that was like Jetfire, wasn't it?
So that's that's pretty amazing. That's like black magic. So that's just like
magic.
That's just awesome. I just think the whole thing about Fuvo, I mean, nothing against you because he's a top lad, but you can see how there were so many discussions going on the internet because a lot of people didn't like the fact that people who were backing stuff were getting given stuff for free to review, and the reviewers who backed weren't, and stuff like that. And it's kind of like really weird because I think they don't understand it. Sometimes few talking about this is going to help generate interest in Deathsaurus, which in turn will benefit people who back Deathsaurus. So I don't even know how to pronounce that fucking name anymore. So it will be an advantage, especially if you want the vagina chair. Or the chair
The vagina chair.
Menstrual.
That's not his proper name, everybody. That's not what your money is going on. It might be.
It's not the lady chafe chair.
This year it's having its time a month permanently.
Oh, good lord. Chappy lips chair. Right.
Jamie, that was awesome. Thank you so much for that, you lovely man. So after that, we'll go straight into the news. I can hear myself.
Oh, will we?
Oh, are we? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just.
Do you want me to vamp for a bit?
I'm totally prepared. You know me. I'm always there ready. Right. Whenever you're ready.
New Alexis.
Exactly.
I haven't played the fuck. I've never done that before. Not played the news. Sorry.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Performance issues.
There we go. What? At least this issue won't tell anyone.
I did.
You take on. Do you want to talk about this, Paul? Because obviously, you know, we're going to be there, aren't we? And we want as many people watching to come along as can.
Yeah, definitely. So if you went there last year, it was fucking amazing. There was about 80 of us in a hotel. There was guests. There was Simon Furman. This year we've got loads more guests. We'll put all the guest lists up in a second. But we've got like Chris Maffeely's coming. Simon Furman's coming back. Loads of writers and stuff. It's an amazing but really intimate little. It's more of a party than a convention. We loved it. There's a bar in the place where you're staying, so you can continuously get alcohol.
It was really laid back, wasn't it? It was a really nice atmosphere for people who were a bit nervous about going to a convention because of the number of people, like at TFN. It was a really nice laid back atmosphere, apart from when we had to do our show. But other than that, it was really nice laid back.
It was. We had a fantastic time, and it was just like turning up. Like we turned up the night before, got in that lift. Jeff Senior was in the lift, and that was weird. Just rode up the lift to my room, and it felt a bit weird because his room was next to mine, and I was just walking behind him the whole time. He must have thought I was following him. But then he came back downstairs, came back down, sat down, and the guy next to me turned around and said, "Oh, hi, my name's Simon." I was like, "It's fucking Simon Furman." And he was just saying hello. Then Jeff went and got some beers. Jamie was there. We were chilling out. Alexis was ruined. It was just a really good.
Standard.
And
I still remember Alexis going out the lift with me, and he's going, and I was going, Alexis, like, "Where's your room?" And he went, I'm far left. And I went,
"It's a circle."
I'm very far left.
Didn't he say the horrible?
And I was far left. I said, "It's a fucking circle, Alexis. It's a circle." I'm right. Your room's right next to me, you toss.
Great stuff.
Ed, your mum's accidentally booked her birthday for the same weekend. Silly mum. Well, listen, bring the mums. That's why I said. Don't I always say that, Andy? The more
you
mums,
do always say that. I mean,
We wish you would.
even when we haven't asked. Even when
we haven't asked, the more mums, the better.
Your mum's quite old, so she's had plenty of birthdays. It's maybe one time she doesn't really need you there.
Ed, for the love of God, do not bring your mum. For the love of God.
But I'm just excited about seeing Chris McFeely. I think he'll be awesome. He's flying in from Ireland for it. Yeah.
Do they have planes in Ireland yet? That's amazing.
It will be cool to see Chris McFeely because that was first proper time at TFN this year. I always said last year there, when I actually got a chance to actually speak to him in person, and we had quite a nice chat about characters from the Unicorn trilogy that deserve kind of new toys and haven't been given enough love. And we both bonded over our love of Vector Prime and how much we both thought that there should be a new figure of Vector Prime. Why isn't there one? It's ridiculous. And then somebody just randomly wandered in next to me and hijacked the conversations.
I think it was me, actually. I jumped into the conversation with you.
No, it wasn't you, because you joined the conversation. It was somebody else who we didn't know, because even like Chris McFinney kind of looked like,
yes.
You're talking to us as well, like, okay. Anyway, TFUK Con, though.
But if you've been to TFN, this is like a super intimate version of it where you get to talk and chat to everyone, and it was just really nice, aren't they? Like, I spoke to so many cool people.
No strippers.
Hey, we said we'd go out for strippers, so
let's see how much Alexis drinks.
I was just about to say, let's see what Alexis does.
If you want to come to this 13th of May next year, it's £35, which is an absolute barg. And what I would highly recommend is getting a hotel room at the same place, because you can do that. And if you head to TFUK, you'll be able to find out about that, because you get the hotel for cheap, so you can stay there with us all day long and all night long. And who knows, we might even end up in your room. You never know.
We'll follow you back to your door.
She played that song.
That ticket
all
costs £40.
Every time you say that.
I'll have a couple of $39.99.
Right, let's crack on then. News. Haslab Destours is now up to nearly 16,000 backers. What has that unlocked, Jamie, so far?
I'm kind of scared. I think it's I don't know. Stuff like that. I actually don't care. I just presumed everything would be unlocked. I'm just don't want the chair.
Next is the chair, isn't it? The chair's next.
The chair's hideous, so I think we should stop. Get close to the chair.
Stop. No, that's it. Just stop.
You know, the thing
I'm
is,
willing to cancel some orders.
they'll throw it in just to spite you. They're just like, do you know what? You were so close. Have it anyway. No, God, no.
Oh, you'll look forward to those photos of the chair.
I just don't understand that chair. Why they came up with something like that.
Well, it's the chair from his ship on the show, but still, yeah. Anyway, so there's that. Now this was apparently the first look at Transformers Legacy Medics from the Skids mold again, although this looks like it's more the crankcase version. I don't know. I don't know the character. I think that's slightly mistransformed in the sense they've not actually closed it up properly. But I don't know. I don't know who's Medics. Somebody in the chat tell us. He's not G1, for Christ's sake.
It's amazing he can stand with those hollow legs.
I'd be interested to know if this is real or if this is some kind of a custom. That's a very Optimus Prime-y head. But there you go.
Yeah,
there it is.
It kind of looks like Skid's face, doesn't it, though? The Diaclone version of Skid's.
I was just going to say the other version. What was that one called again?
I don't know. The female Diaclone version of Skid's.
That one.
Flids.
Let's go it. Yeah,
we probably don't want to go with that as a name.
Let's
Just
Jennifer.
Rescue bot.
There you go, rescue bots. And then is this Magic the Gatherings obviously doing a crossover with Transformers, and they've revealed these secret lair tins that you're going to be able to get. Now, I cannot speak with any expertise on this because I'm not into really any of that kind of Magic the Gathering type stuff because I have sex with ladies. But here is the tin, which looks very nice.
It says who's on a Friday night on the Transformers toy show.
Exactly.
You absolute player.
you know it, baby.
Oh, the amount of pussy we have to turn away now we do this show on a Friday night. You do a Transformers toy show.
We need to get some of those Pussy Patrol t-shirts for the next year, then, just to really offend some people. Anyway, here we go.
8 o'clock on Friday night.
Drew really hates empty.
I think, Paul, you made a very good point about this. This would be worth picking up just for the tin.
Yeah,
Take your lunch in
lunchbox.
It is a lunchbox.
Yeah, that would be the coolest kid at work.
Kid at work.
I just couldn't do that with a straight face, bring that lunchbox.
I could, definitely.
Yeah.
Slap that baby down and make sure everybody... You get these cards with this great artwork and everything on. I mean, I don't know. If Alexis was here, he would be filling us in on all of it to a point where we would actually want him to stop. But
every time they bring out these cards for Transformers, they cancel them within a year.
Games, yeah. But there's always a hardcore of fans who love it and keep it alive, and at least between each other and stuff. I mean, and we saw that at TFN. There was people who brought their cards and just something broke out for a game. So. If Magic the Gathering is your thing, the joke I made about, ladies aside, then, I'm sure you're excited about this. I still don't understand exactly how it will work. It's like a proper crossover, I suppose, but anyway.
Drew was saying...
Boys to men would know.
Drew was saying that apparently it is quite expensive for what they want. And I guess that's that crossover thing, like they're doing with you're paying for the license as much as anything else.
Let's milk the money. Then we've got this Rise of the Beasts Deluxe Bumblebee figure that has now been... I think it's been officially revealed.
I don't like that.
I think it looks pish, as you would say. You'd be so proud, Jamie. I actually used the word pish earlier on in context, just as I was talking. Because
I noticed I'm sometimes being a bit too negative in recent shows about all the Transformers I'm seeing. So I'm trying to see positive stuff, but I would have to lie.
That looks better. That looks better in that mode than it does in Robo mode.
No, it doesn't.
I don't know. It looks like...
Oh, come on.
I didn't say it was good. I just said it was better.
I think what people are most excited about is probably Battletrap. He does look the more interesting figure.
He looks good, but could he masturbate?
Not with those hands. Not successfully.
Not with that attitude.
You don't know what you do not know what his penis might look like a crane, and then they would fit in fine. Kai is saying that he's booked tickets, flights, hotel is coming over all the way to see us. Kai, we would love to see you.
You've assumed he's just doing it just to come.
I just think Transformers should have hands. I don't think you'd be an advanced robot and not be able to lift fucking nothing.
Yeah. To be
I
fair,
just-
Is
you were
this
like-
not a KO of fucking
on.
what's his face, Skids or?
don't think so. I think it's supposed to be a new mold. It just looks very similar to other things we've had before.
The
Just because of
hands
nature of it.
underneath.
Well, this, yeah.
Oh,
it has that
you
drill
mean
Hoist,
factory-
hoist.
Yeah,
Hoist, as Alexis would say.
it does
Yeah.
look very similar to hoist, doesn't it? Although the elbows would be much closer to the front wheels, I would think.
Oh, that's when you know you're a real Transformers nerd, when we're trying to measure how far the elbows are away, just so we know what mold it was.
Yeah.
It's just
Anyway,
small
it
details
probably
that
comes
are
from
fucking
Combined War
important, Andy.
Silverbolt, like
Don't
everything
stop me.
else.
Yeah, important.
Then, overnight, we had this trailer drop for the
The R-rated version.
I missed that one.
I've got the
God,
trailer if you want it. Sorry.
Oh, do you want to play? Shall we play the trailer? Because I think
Yeah,
that's,
it's a really good
yeah,
trailer.
let me
Let
stop
just
sharing.
stop
There
the
we go.
libertines for 2 seconds. Right, the trailer for a new Transformers video game.
This is massive.
This ain't working. We should melt it down for ammo. And we're live.
Only God.
Sequencing at 17%. Loading memory core now.
It's all the same. Only the names will change. And every day it seems we're wasting away. Another place where the faces are so cold. I drive all night just to get back home.
All right. Let's get lucky.
'Cause I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive.
I don't want to like over egg it, but that's the best Transformers thing I've ever seen in my life.
I know.
Do you not
It's a
think
good
that the
angle.
weird thing is when they say not actual gameplay, which basically means it's a lie until you actually see what it is.
But
I mean, it's going to be
Gears
on
of
PC
War.
and consoles,
Gears of
isn't it?
War had a fantastic intro and it became a brilliant game. And
It did.
it's like, you know,
It did.
Gears of War
and hopefully
kind of
this
thing.
will.
So
Yeah.
the
I
thing
do
I've,
like the
I've
music
seen,
on the trailer.
the thing I've seen about this is that company that makes it. I'm actually going to nerd out a little bit. Is they are based in Bromley, in my town. They are literally just up the road from my
They
house.
must have a good fucking imagination to live in a place like that.
You've never been there. You don't know, man. You don't know.
They're going to
No,
make
but
a good game.
I'm personally nerding out of that. So it's just like a
Stop
Transformers
down the
game is
road and
made
ask how
in
it's
my.
going.
I am going to try that, yes. But I think it looks quite good. It's obviously still very early in development, but they do
Are you
like
stalking
Gears of
them
War.
now?
showcase.
You seem to be talking about it as if you know firsthand what's going on.
I will try it by the end of tonight. I will, but they have done like Gears of War games, like Gears of War Tactics, so that does look very Gears of War. I think it could end up to be something quite good. It is first-person shooter, from what I understand. I don't know if it's VR, but it's first-person shooter, for what we know.
Well, if it's VR, I've got a VR headset, so I don't care. I hope it is VR now.
Oh, okay, why don't you play Resident Evil then? And tell me how you get on.
Have you got Resident Evil?
Oh yeah, I've got 2 Resident Evil VR games. So
Have you got
everyone I
Resident
know
Evil 4?
yes,
Have you played it?
no. I've got it installed.
I'm going to buy it. Did you ever play on the PlayStation 2 or
Oh, yeah,
GameCube?
no,
Oh, it's
played
fucking
GameCube.
amazing, wasn't it? I
GameCube,
can't-
it was brilliant.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it on VR.
Everyone I know who's done Resident Evil on VR has just gone, nope, just taking it straight off.
Resident Evil VR is actually it's okay. It's it's fine. It's a bit nauseating at first, but yeah, it's okay. Just close your eyes at the scary bits.
Do you know what's not nauseating?
How many of these have you
I'm
got?
waiting for your answer.
Over 100. Right, cool. What's next?
Oh, sorry, it's third-party news.
Yeah. Is there any?
If you're gonna make a coffee, off you go.
Oh,
Right, here we go. So, this is some. Well, I don't know if Dexter Logan's the person. Is this the same guy? This is the Scorponok that's coming from the same person that's doing the Metroplex. Is that right? Because there was no explanation from Alexis in the news. Hello, Alexis. But I'm pretty sure it is. And this is like 3D printed, isn't it? And it's
I mean,
big.
Andy, you made the interesting point that these things aren't very good.
Well,
because
I just don't think it looks that. I mean, it's big, but if that's all you're impressed by, it's just like I look at it and like the claws look too small, the head looks kind of weird, the face looks kind of weird, and I don't know if I'm just spoiled with all of my QC.
I think it's what we were discussing was it's more like this should be like in a museum or like a shop somewhere rather than your home. It doesn't seem to be like, this is something you can put on your shelf as your centerpiece. This is going to take up serious retail space, isn't it?
It's going to take up a lot of room. But then you see, maybe if you see it in hand, it's one of those things that, like, I mean, we've had this before, and I've had this where
I don't know. I got Victory Saber, and straight away I'm thinking about size comparisons, and I'm thinking, how does it compare to the Statue of Liberty? And it's and it just
only one way to find out, Jamie. Get on that plane.
You can only get so big, can't you? Then it starts to not be a fun thing.
Yeah, I think when you're getting to
talking about this, is that what you tell the ladies?
That's what Jordan said.
Oh,
bless him.
Big hello to Harvey. Anyway, so there you go. There's that. Let's move on. This is, and I've got to remind you,
anything at all. Don't worry.
Fanstoys Jive,
Fanstoys Jive, FT48 with picture of. Well,
that's not a real cat. You can't do that.
There was a picture with a real cat, but the cat was facing in the wrong direction. I thought, I'm not putting a picture of a cat's ass on the screen. So there you go. So there it is. There's the little bits and pieces it comes with. Looks good. Looks very G1 cartoony.
I'm not convinced on the scale of it. I think the arms and the waist look a bit off. I still think Make Toys version downbeat is better. Personally, I think the head sculpt is bang on point, but the rest of it just looks a bit off.
Do you know what? It does look like, is this like a Legends?
No, it's full of it's Masterpiece car, so we're only talking 6, 7, 8 inches.
It looks so much like the Hasbro jug line, especially the way the back's done.
Yeah. It's not terrible, but it's 140, 150 quid. It could have been better.
No, it's just. Why is it in a show shop?
Because this is where the person took the photos.
This is where they made him. This is where he was born.
There you go.
You're not going to sell many there. I'm just saying.
I've got the Make Toys version, and I'm very happy with that.
I love that road he's made. That's quite cool.
Messi's got a penalty.
Where?
2-0.
Oh.
2-0. I didn't know it was 1-0.
And the thing is, as well, with Jazz, because they can't do the licensing for Martini, you have to effectively buy the stickers. And there's quite a few of them.
Why can't they just do it anyway? Is someone going to tell Martini?
Yeah.
Yeah. Martini doesn't exist anymore.
I will, Jamie. I'll do it. I'll be that guy.
Yeah. Anyway, here we have Magic Square Toys Highway Overlord Combiner box set.
So I think this is a crowd-funded. Right? I think so. This is official Magic Square, and I think it's crowd-funded. You can put your money towards this, and you get the whole set. So Magic Square sold these all originally all separately, and they've jumped up a lot in price because it's not mega easy to get all of them. So if you see them on eBay, you're paying well over what they would have paid when they first came out. But they're releasing this super set, has them all in it, but I believe you have to crowdfund it.
Is it crowdfunding? Magic Square crowdfunding?
Yeah, it's the first one they've ever done.
Oh, I like the look of it.
Hasbro's book.
Yeah, I like the look of it. Just not into Legends. If that was in MP scale, I'd be all over it. I actually think that's one of the better looking Minosaurs.
Well, some of us can see beyond scale, and Ian.
Sorry, how high is that horse?
Some of used to looking beyond size.
It's a long way down.
Like my wife.
My wife. Anyway, Ocular Max Mavigant.
Yeah,
and this is their Streetwise, isn't it? But haven't we seen this before? This isn't new, is it? We've seen photos of this figure before, haven't we? Or am I going?
It's been announced. You did the reveal at TFCon Chicago, where you did the separate news. It got released there as well.
I thought so.
It's due to be sent out. I got my one coming. So
what you're telling me is these photos aren't really that new news.
It's more product shot because it's imminent release, but yeah, that's about it.
And that's the news. So anyway,
Don't touch
Victor
that
said-
dial.
Right, that's it. News is done. Let's do some pickups.
Yeah.
Pickups.
hold on.
Well,
We now return to the Transformers.
robots in disguise. Who's playing Transformers the show on a tablet of sorts? Is that you, Ian?
No.
No.
Right, let me. I can hear me. Ah.
I can't hear you, but when you do that, I then hear a little bit.
I've muted Ian now, so now will be the test if it's Ian. Now I'm going to
this is what
unmute
people
Ian.
tune in for.
I'm going to unmute Ian and make the same noise. Boo boo. It's Ian.
I'm not
Ian
doing
has got
anything.
feedback.
I've got wired headphones.
Turn
Can't
your
have-
TV down.
Not me. I've been
Turn my
there.
TV
I've been there, Ian. Spoiler alert! It's probably you.
What? Holland have scored? Fuck.
Oh,
Holland are back in it, or Netherlands, as we like to say, for people who
Yeah.
can read.
Yes.
God bless the Dutch.
What? It's not showing on BBC.
What have they got to fucking do with the Netherlands, Andy?
Dutch, yes. Anyway. Oh, okay.
Pickups, yeah.
Is he
Sorry, I
trying to
was
figure
looking
it out
at
as he
football.
watching the
Netherlandians, I think that's what they should call
Who would like to go first on pickups this week? What did you get?
I'll go and get mine out of the way. So,
It's like when I play Fortnite with you, Ian. All you can hear is my voice.
no, I
my
can't hear you.
headphones are
Your,
so
your ones are turned so far down. It's like you talk very quietly when we play Fortnite, and everyone else is fine. But anyway, so yeah, my two pickups. I got Legacy Beast Wars Inferno. I absolutely love him, and I paid for his gun to come along, which cost a little bit, but yeah, it's the most accurate Beast Wars Inferno toy that there has been, true to the cartoon. So the Masterpiece has got a way to go. I actually haven't transformed him yet, but I do love how he looks, and I love how the Predacons all look together. How's the
Somebody
football,
watching
Paul?
the football.
Again,
That's
it's
so-
your show. And also, I got Armada Starscream, which
Cool.
Jamie took some nice photos of. Yeah, really like it. Transformed it is pretty much like the original Armada toy. Very happy. I suppose I'll be collecting more Armada because he needs a few more to go with. Tidal Wave, please. But that's it. That's my only two pickups. I was going to get more, but Royal Mail striking things didn't happen.
Bastards.
But that's me.
Jamie, what did you get?
I'll just want to share these photos. So last week, 2 weeks back, I talked about Armada Starscream, and I generally wasn't too happy with it. But I was trying to do some scenic shots with these photos. That one I didn't mind too much because I was going for a sort of dark look, but I wasn't too happy with them, to be honest. Especially like that one, because I find it hard to sort of see the details I wanted to see and this sort of face. So I was basically been sort of working and looking into getting a DSLR camera, and that may be something I'm going to be buying next year to try to sort of improve my photos. But what I did do was work on the lighting, and I went back to do them properly. And so I worked using sort of different lighting, and took my time instead of trying to rush it in half an hour, and working with the phone pro settings, and trying to get so much more detail in the face. So I think this one worked a lot better. And then this one where I lightened it up a lot more.
Yeah, that's
And,
nice.
and it just sort of brings out the details. So I was much happier because I wasn't happy with the originals I done.
That's a very good shot. You can really see the face.
Yeah, it really brings out the red as well. Really makes it pop.
So I was happy with that, and I was using video like thing about a piece of 7 days trials. I was testing out how to work with and stuff, because I think a lot of the photographers, when you look at Toy Box, Soapbox, Sixo, Plastic Crack, etc., all these guys, brilliant photos, and they do so much after work, on their photos to improve them. So I'm trying to sort of pick up that sort of skill, and nothing like John Strong yet, who does wonderful effects in this stuff. And there was like the other one, side on view. Again, I wasn't too happy with these originally, and I thought the light just sort of blurred out the detail. So I went back again to really improve on the sort of just working with what I've got to work on the detail in the face there. And generally much happier with the results. But I am thinking, especially with the Star Saber, which I was struggling taking photos with that, with the mobile phone, I'm really thinking about moving on to getting a camera, a DSL, or a camera, a cheap one. I don't want to spend too much, and try to learn and improve on how I take photos.
Do you find, Jamie, when you take your photos, that there's never enough light? Whatever you're doing, you just need more light. You could have the sun on it direct, and you still need more light.
I think, yes, I think the phones really struggle to pick up the detail. And I think sometimes, even if you go into pro settings and stuff, there's only so much you can do. And you really do struggle. And sometimes what I find is, like, even if you've got curtains drawn and stuff, the natural ambient light comes through, and that can change a lot of stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I find that tricky. And I think there's a lot of things, just the angle of the phone, just a slight angle, you can tell, and suddenly a lot of stuff will come into focus. But yeah,
You're
that's
right
me.
finished. I'm still on.
What was your pickup, Paul? Was it the football? Was it the remote?
I don't think I got anything this week. But,
was it a penalty or a yellow card?
I did not get anything this week. Sorry.
All right. I'll go then.
Don't push yourself, Andy.
tell us what's happening with the football afterwards, won't you? So I got quite a few bits because a lot of pre-orders came through. So,
Ooh.
Point Blank. They're all still in the boxes. I'm not, I'm not going to moan too much because everybody has jobs that are hard. But I've been frigging working every night basically until the point where I drop. Anyway, Point Blank looks very nice. I'm looking forward to getting him out. Dead End. So again, only need breakdown now, and the Stunticons are complete. I'm quite torn though. I can't tell whether I'm that bothered, which is such a weird thing to say because Motormaster's a great bot, and Wild Ride is okay. Dragstrip, I'm not as much of a fan of. I don't think it's a great bot, but I don't know. I'm just finding it really hard to get excited about it.
Do you feel like we're getting too much Transformers too quickly these days?
Kind of. I think it's like because you get several at the same time, and it sounds really stupid, but it's almost like you don't get time to enjoy, like the first one, and then it's the next one, and then it's the next one, and that sounds really bad because there's people watching this who maybe aren't as lucky and haven't been able to get as many. But I think that's the problem. It's like I think I'm going to stagger opening them for a while, and then
some of them meant to be coming out next year. So it's almost like they're taking your money early just before Christmas.
That's the only thing. I shouldn't complain about it because it is cool when there's a bot you really were looking forward to, and then you get it earlier than you expected. I mean, that is nice, but then it's these things that you're really looking forward to, and then you got them, and it's like, all right, well, what's next? And I don't know if I'm looking forward to as much that's coming up, at least that we've been able to order yet. Maybe once it's out. Anyway. Got to join the club, haven't I? I'm out of Starscream to go.
I think that is the figure of the year. Really
I love the look of it. I'm hoping it's all right once I get it out there. Again, I've had this since Monday. I've not had a chance to sit properly. When I open things, I want to sit down, spend some time, and actually open it and really have a play around with it. And I just haven't had time. Not if I want to spend time with my family, which for some reason I do. And then, thanks to Rohan initially, and then other people in the groups talking about what's it called, TK Maxx. I managed to order a ramjet because I don't have this mold. I wasn't lucky enough to pick up the was it the Earthrise ones, and so yeah, I've got that in its beautiful colours, and again, arrived the same day as Starscream, and I haven't been able to open it yet. And then the other thing I got was Victory Saber. And here he is. Now you might notice he's still in its box. This is a Christmas present, and it was one that I wasn't really supposed to know about, apparently. But through a series of completely innocent mishaps, I did find out about it. But I said to Claire, do you know what? You bought it as a Christmas present. I will hold off opening it till Christmas, because that's what you'd intended.
Yes, you do that, Andy. You make sure there's no parts left.
I was just going to say, what have we just been talking about for the last hour?
You know what? She actually said to me before we came on the show tonight, she said you should probably open it before then, because if there's any issues like some other people have had, you want to know. So she has given me permission to open it, but because there was such little amount of time before the show started, I haven't yet. But
live unboxing.
Open it now. Let's see what QC issues you got. Come on. Let's say QC bingo.
It's got loose joints.
And if you've got
or paint,
me or your toy? We've all got loose joints.
Mine aren't now. Far too tight. Anyway, so yes, inside this is a Victory Saber. So
I mean, Andy, you've got the advantage.
See it on eBay.
The chrome damage, which is normally speckled and stuff like that, you're not going to be able to see that with your eyesight.
No, with my eyesight, I won't have a chance. So to me, it'll just look beautiful.
It'll look uniform to you. Beautiful.
I shall live forever in blissful ignorance. Ooh, free kick.
What's
Very nervous looking Dutchman.
Is that the Netherlandians?
Is that Van der Vaart?
The Netherlandians. I always like what they call now the draft excluder, the guy who lies on the floor.
That's a stupid position. That is a stupid idea.
What if probably the wall falls back on you and studs you in the face? Oh, well, what a complete waste of time that free kick was. Straight off the face. There you go. Yeah, I like Ed's point. If you never open it, there will be no issues. Exactly, Ed. Yeah. That is exactly right.
Pandora's box.
Schrodinger's Saber.
But anyway, yeah, so I'm very lucky to have got this, because I wasn't expecting to get a Victory Saber after the problems we had when we'd originally ordered it. And even though she had to pay more money from in demand, I'm still really happy to have it. And Desaurus was also ordered by her while I was umming and ahhing, because she decided he's going to and ah, so she ordered it.
You have been a good boy this year, haven't you?
I'm jumping on the Hasbro QC bandwagon gravy train, and we're just going to ride.
I am tempted to order 2 Desaurus just because of quality control.
Well, like you said, my eyesight's so bad I won't even notice. You could send me a brick, and I'll just go, "Wow, that's so like the cartoon character."
It looks almost like a chicken.
Send me an actual chicken.
Chicken. It's very realistic. Why is it moving? It's shitting everywhere.
But Andy, I got a lot of mail today as well, all these Transformers, and I had my magnifying. I didn't open the boxes, but I had my magnifying glass looking at each one and going, "Yes, space is okay."
But, yes, this is the problem with the glasses, though, Jamie, because if I take the glasses off, I can still see and everything. But it's just like, to me, the best way I can compare it to is, if you've ever seen that episode of Family Guy where they get their first HD TV and all of a sudden they see everything in all its horrible glory. That's what this is like. Suddenly I see everything in HD.
Hi, Andy.
So, not you, you're beautiful. But, yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm not that bothered. If there's a little bit of a blemish, that's fine. If it's a serious issue, I'm more worried about things like joints. And things like that. If there's like something broken or something like a joint, if
it's just not there. It's gone AWOL.
It's not there. I'll tell you what, it didn't weigh as much as I thought it would. At least it didn't get nicked. It didn't get stolen or anything. So that's a good thing.
For me, it's because I take the photos. As soon as I take the photos, I notice just suddenly like.
But if I did that, you see, I think I'd probably have the same issues. Once I put my glasses on, and I'd have the same problems with it.
But you know what's really good? We got this before most of America did.
Yeah, that is good. That's right, America. Look, I've got a box. Brilliant. Hey?
Right, cool. Anything else, sir?
No. Just no. That's it.
Ian from Bromley, what did you get this week?
I did mine.
All right.
Just gonna say,
I was the first one when you were watching the football. Pay attention.
That's everyone done now. Everyone done.
Yes.
I mean,
cool.
I've got Wheeljack and Slicer, but I was going to do them next week. Space it out.
All right, Alexis.
Yeah.
If you want, cool.
Because I'm going to be so many parties next week. Actually, might be a party on Friday night next week. I can't remember. You know, it's busy, isn't it now? Christmas is here. COVID is forgotten about, even though it's still killing people in the millions. But yeah, it's brilliant.
And you got a Star Saber, so you're happy.
Yeah.
Right, we still got our discussion coming up later, which is going to be our favourite video game. We've still got Foreplay, which is our top 5 movie bots. But now, talking of parties, it's now time for the biggest party, which is Rohan's Corner. He's doing his awards for 2022. Let's give it up for Rohan!
Rohan's Corner, working overtime, recording fine, that's just prime. Super reviews, which will neutralize Hasbro's wave of crimes. Magic Square to the rescue, and New Age has got such super paintwork. Rohan is the mighty power that can save the day. Rohan, no one knows what lies behind his wall of fame. Rohan, always riding hard on Hasbro's trail. Come see the memes he plays every Friday.
Hello everyone, thank you guys. Welcome back to the Corner of Rohan. And this week I'd just like to start by saying thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday for the past week, and also to all of you wishing me in the chat there right now. And what better way to celebrate than to look back at 2022 and do an awards ceremony. So if you'll indulge me, I have 12 different prizes to give out to various different Transformers this year. Hopefully you'll enjoy the nuance of the categories that I've chosen, not the standard ones that you would expect from me. But anyway, it should be enjoyable. So, kicking off with my retro pickup for 2022, it is courtesy of Mr. Guzzy Hero. I picked up these lovely 3 Generation 1 puzzle pieces, 100-piece puzzle pieces, brand new and sealed, courtesy of Guzzy for a steal at £5 each. Thank you very much, my man. My son will absolutely love doing these with me. That's a given. Yeah, absolutely. And although I did have 13 Generation 1, Generation 2 older pieces that I picked up this year that I chose from, those are the ones I've gone with. Number 2, and there are quite a few contenders for this year, is a bargain figure of the year. Which one gets the nod? Well, there were several honorable mentions. We've seen the Mutant Tigatron in TK Maxx stores recently, along with a bunch of other great discounted figures. Mutant Tigatron specifically down to £10. We all have also seen the Rainmaker set as low as 30 odd quid, £33, and the Jurassic Park set all the way down from the echelons of £100 or so down to 30 quid recently from Zavvi. But my number one pick for this year is the Botropolis set, because for 20 quid, it's such a lot of figure for your money. 2 large figures and several Micromasters, and gives you a whole playset feel for 20 quid. The original price point was around about £80, so yeah, can't really go wrong. I hope you all managed to pick one up. And number 3 for me is Disappointment of the Year. I had to rack my brains quite hard for this because, you know, you don't often feel disappointed with figures. You feel they lack in some way, shape or form, but never disappointed enough. Maybe if you're Paul and you're really disappointed with, you know, Visible Hand Syndrome, then you'll sell them off, or maybe Brick Syndrome for CJ Face. But for me this year, there are 2 specific ones that stood out. The first one being Legacy Blitzwing. Obviously, the robot mode is great, but the alt modes leave a lot to be desired. The tank mode is growing on me, and obviously there is that Tim Header upgrade kit which you can put on it to make it look a little bit better. The jet mode, I just put it in the stand mode because I think otherwise it just looks really bad. There are other fixes out there which I've showcased before, but yeah, that figure has a lot to be desired. And then the other figure for me that really didn't really hit the nail on the head, didn't make me feel good about it, and I actually sold it pretty quick, was the Action Toys Bike Robo. I realize this is an older toy, but for me, I got this year as a Cycle toy, and yeah, there's nothing really Cycle about it. Okay, it's very close to the original sculpted mold of the GoBots Cycle toy, the original, but other than that, it doesn't even have any kind of face that reminiscent of the toy. Yeah, it just didn't do anything for me, so I got rid, unfortunately. And before you all jump on me, I knew there would be a Gobo in the disappointment category. It didn't have to be, I put it in there on its merit. In at number 4 is my QC Nightmare of the Year, and this year hasn't been as bad as many others. Yes, we have had some QC issues, predominantly paint-based with certain figures. I know that my Magic Square Mirage had a few scuffs on it, and I've had other Hasbro figures with scuffs on them too, but the one that I really want to shout out about is, you got it, the latest Haslab Victory Saber. Unfortunately, it has got major issues with it, and so yeah, I think I have something in the region of 19 issues with that figure, so that's why that's there at the top of the list. In at number 6 is my Legend Class Figure of the Year, and this is a tough one because obviously I have a lot of figures that I buy every year. In fact, this year I whittled it down for this list to figure out my best figures from 100 odd purchases. That's 100 lots, not necessarily 100 figures, but 100 odd lots. That covers mainline, it covers Legends, it covers Masterpiece, it covers non-transforming figures, it covers other figures, it covers GoBots, so all those bits and pieces. And in terms of Legends, I bought 27 various different Legends this year, and it was really hard to pick one. We had some crackers this year. We had Magic Square Optimus Prime 2 was excellent. Magic Square's Hound was brilliant. I picked up the New Age Insecticons. They're pretty damn good. But the top 3 for me this year were New Age's Cyclonus. What a fantastic bot and alt mode that is. A lovely transformation, lovely paintwork. New Age's Jetfire, dead on in terms of the same aesthetically, looks excellent, really good paintwork, nice transformation. But number 1 for me had to be my favorite character who's never been done this well in any form of Transformers line, 3P or official, any scale, Masterpiece or otherwise. It is, of course, Magic Square, Ironhide and Ratchet. They are absolutely exceptional. If you don't have them, go out and get them, because this is the only version of this toy, even better than the Hasbro one. Sorry, Hasbro. The Studio Series 86 Ironhide is excellent, but it still does not get anywhere close to Magic Square. And number 7 on my list, the mainline bot of the year. I have 2 that I want to pick out. We've had some excellent toys across all the lines this year, and we've had some okay ones. I really enjoyed some of the characters like Knockout from the Legacy line and some of the other Stunticons that have come out. As a set, I would say definitely the Stunticons are excellent for Hasbro mainline. However, I can't really classify them as one bot, so I'll give them an honorable mention. But my pick for the mainline toy of the year is going to be that boy again, Ironhide. I don't know how many times I have to say it. It's the first time we've had something close to the original character that was not, parts forming or bits and pieces or lacking massively in some way, shape or form. Yes, it could do with a few extra bits and pieces to make it better, but overall, I really enjoy the figure, and yes, he is my choice for this year. Who's yours? And I had 31 different bots and lots to choose from for the mainline figure of the year, so that's saying something. And my Masterpiece choice of the year. You may not think I'm a Masterpiece collector because I'm not really, but I did pick up 6 different Masterpiece toys this year. The likes of XTB's Perceptor and Wheelie, the likes of Hasbro official Takara Masterpiece Bumblebee. But my choice for this year is RP44 Thomas, the KO of Fanstoys Astrotrain. Boy, that figure is a beast. Okay, fair enough. It transforms in really nice 3 alt modes, but boy, it is hard work to do that. I tend to keep mine in Space Shuttle mode, and it's a hefty, chunky boy as well. But lovely figure, and for the money, I can't really complain. Number 9 on my awards list choice is something a bit out there. It is my non-transforming figure of the year. What this category means to me is any of the red line, the non-transforming action posing, action master, if you like, type figures, but also any of the human-based characters that don't transform that I've picked up this year, the likes of the Impossible Toys, Spike and Sparkplug figures. And my choice pick for this year out of 13 different non-transforming toys, some of them are humans, some of them are robots, is the X-Transbots Janssen minifigures. We had Perceptor, we had Brawn, we had Bumblebee, and we had also Perceptor in microscope mode. And I love these little guys. They're excellent. I just wish someone would do a whole Generation 1 line of these. They are, believe it or not, slightly articulated, posable figures, which, I could get for a couple of quid each and have them there with the Zeta Unicron to give that scale differential look, but also put them on some of the larger Masterpiece figures or even Generations figures where they can be holding on like I have with Prime here, those sorts of things. They're just so fun. And even with my playset over there. Number 10 on my list, which is where it gets really juicy, is my GoBot pick of the year. And I had 10 various different GoBots which I picked up this year, I'll have you know. There were some excellent ones in there. I got some brand new carded sealed GoBots as well, don't forget. But my number one pick for this year, it was hard to choose, but definitely goes to Toe Cutter, KFC Toys Sidekill, but also from the same man, Mr. Borders Dude John Grieve also supplied me with an original Sidekill figure, which I just love that figure as well. They're both great. Toe Cutter is obviously head and shoulders above in terms of scale and height and everything about the transformation. But just for fun, the little original Sidekill figure is great. And number 11, my t-shirt of the year. As you can probably see, I'm sporting a new one here provided by my family for my birthday. So thank you, family. I also have another one which I shall show you later, which actually is probably slightly better, if not as good as this one. And I also got some really cool t-shirts early in the year, a couple of GoBots ones. One of those GoBots ones is my favorite. You can see me wearing it here. I love that shirt. It's brilliant. Next up is the award for Convention of the Year. Now, I attended 3 different conventions this year. I attended Roll Out Roll Call most recently, TF Nation earlier in the summer, and prior to that, TF UK Con. And have a guess, which is my favorite? TF UK Con. What a convention. I will definitely be attending there next year. I hope you will also be there and also buy some of my stuff. 2 categories left. The first one is bought it but didn't really need it. And this award goes to this year. Well, there were quite a few figures I bought and I didn't really need. I bought Power of the Prime's Optimus Prime Leader Class again for a tenner. I didn't really need it. I bought it because it was cheap. That's a bit silly. There have been a couple of other mainline figures I bought which I didn't really need. I bought a second Legacy Kickback because I'm going to have some clones of the Insecticons. That was kind of silly. But the biggest one, it's not a regret because I'll get my money back, but I don't really need it, is the Titan Class Legacy Selects Black Zarak toy. It's still in the box. It's not going to come out the box. I still haven't opened my Titan Class Scorponok. I mean, if I'm going to pick one of those two, I'm going to open Scorponok because he's G1S. And for the biggest award of the year, my holy grail of the year, my number 1 purchase of 2022, it has to be the one and only out of 100 different purchases this year, my wonderful iGear Control Center Display Center, which I picked up earlier in the year for a bargainous £160. I have to admit, I've seen others going for sale this year, 2 more. One went for like $300, $400 in the States, and the other one is listed at the moment for like 1,000 Canadian dollars. So it is rare as hen's teeth, and I love the set. It's brilliant. It gives you so much depth for display, for photo taking, for play, even though it has its issues with falling apart and whatnot and not being able to touch it. Pretty much, it's still absolutely fantastic, and I really do hope more 3P companies or even Hasbro come along and build things like this because we absolutely need them. So those were my award choices for 2022. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you agreed with them. If you don't, write in and let us know which ones you would have gone for, and I hope to see you again back on the show next week for some more Transformers action. Back to the studio.
Transformers,
Rohan's in disguise. You great man. Thank you so much for that. That was awesome. Really enjoyed that. Oh. Thanks, Rohan. That was good. What's coming up next on the show? Well, we've got our discussion, which is going to be the favourite video game. First of all, though, it's our top 5. Oh, no. Fuck, it's Fanstoys Innunedo. You tried to make me forget because Andy wasn't there.
How is it?
What?
How's the football?
2-2.
That was a good goal, though. That was very clever, that free kick.
It's a Desmond.
Not that I went on to watch it while Ryan was on. I watch both. I'm like my children. I can watch multiple screens at once.
One eye on one on the other.
Right,
God.
so Fanstoys Innunedo. So
what is that down there?
This is the family. Alexis. So Alexis can't be here today, so he's gone off to see some of his friends. Her name's Spacey, and his name's Sissek, and they're his kids. Relations of Alexis, so he's looking forward to seeing them. But we thought we'd do a special Fanstoys Innuendo. Who is that? So Fanstoys Innuendo, there's a Transformer behind that, and you have to guess who it is. Now, you probably know. It's an easy one this week, isn't it? The clue is in the picture.
So we are looking for something hideous.
What is exactly the clue?
Well, something ginger.
Ginger and
kind
hideous.
of the same thing.
Prince Harry. Prince Harry, he's back in the
He is back in the UK. Anyway,
Surely they should do a crossover, a Prince Harry Transformer toy.
It's got to be Mirage, isn't it, Phantasm?
No.
Go
there.
Oh, that was such a stupid answer, Ian. I mean,
at least I'm trying. It's not wrong with you.
Why did we even invite you on?
I think you think Prince Harry was a acceptable answer.
Not the right one, though.
Right. This is a Fanstoys bot, is it?
Yes.
Specifically made by them, because obviously.
How many fan toys do you know, Andy?
Mostly ginger.
I mean, the list is not long. I'm not going to lie to you.
Do you want a clue? Do you want a clue?
Don't they do an Astro Train?
Do you want a clue? It's not Astro Train. Do you want a clue? If you looked at that picture, you would say backwards.
Fuck's sake.
I mean, I would have said inbred, but yeah, go on. Backwards. Backwards?
It's not Dephrosaurus. It's not Gloria Gaynor.
Backwards. Backwards is a clue.
Yeah.
What about backwards? They haven't done punch, counter punch.
All right. What Transformer has something backwards on them, apart from all of
most with Hasbro's recent QC? That's not going to help.
Starscream. When you look at his wings, they're forwards looking.
Oh, Quietus.
Yes, well done.
Guys, it's been a while since we've had Quietus on it.
I know, it was every week and we missed him.
Every week. It's
the
not
big clue was
rewind.
it's behind.
It's not your
all
vagina.
on
This
the
trust.
shelf.
So is a boxed Unicron that's never going to see the light of day.
I wonder what my choice will be for my top 5 86 movie Transformers.
It's a mystery.
Who will know?
Live unboxing.
We'll soon find out. Right. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. Right. It's now time for foreplay.
Intro.
Any moment now.
I'm trying to find it. It's really hard. I played. There we go.
Lynn, these are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
So this week we're doing our top 5 Transformers from Transformers the movie 1986 edition, and it's not the character, it's our robot, so robot toy that we love from the 86 movie. Who would like to go first tonight?
My choice would have to be Star Saber.
Yeah. He was off screen.
Very off.
He was,
and
I tell you what, that was the problem in the movie, because if we gave him more screen time, he would have won. He would have solved it all.
He would have sliced Hot Rod in half.
I'm going to go first properly without just saying Star Saber because he's there. I'm going to go with this guy. That's right. It's Skywarp. I mean, Cyclonus. Sorry.
See, Ed. See.
Hi, Ed. Having a nice night. Anyway, so yeah, not your vagina trust. Stop it. So I'm going to go with Cyclonus. This is not my original Cyclonus. This one I picked up in Scarborough, of all places, in an antique toy shop. And I say I picked up. Claire had gone off with the kids on a little shopping trip. Can't remember what I was doing. I think I may have been drunk. But anyway, she bought this for me. It was boxed as well. So the box and everything is in storage at the moment. But it's in a really good nick. You can see it's still got all the stickers on and everything. But this, I loved Cyclonus in the film. Absolutely loved him. And this was my favourite of the movie toys that I had. Even more than Ultra Magnus. Sorry, John. But he was. Like Ultra Magnus was a cool bot, but I always loved the look of Cyclonus, and then we kicked Arrowfyre out of it. So yeah, my favourite would be Cyclonus, partly because of his role in the film. Even though he barely said a word, he just looked freaking
Andy,
awesome.
did you pick this toy because you knew Paul would be picking Cyclonus?
No, but you know what though? I was thinking to myself, if I pick this, is Jamie going to also be going with Cyclonus? And I never once thought to myself that Paul would go for Quietus. So I can change this, even though this is my choice.
Why would I go for Cyclonus when you have characters like Wheelie and Daniel and Transformers?
It's true.
I feel like you've just answered your own question.
And
but yeah, and then I will just comment on this. So this, I've pointed this out before, and I've just completely destroyed the pose he was in. This is the Selects version of this, obviously, in the same colours and everything with the stickers. And I do really love this. I love the look of this. This looks awesome on the shelf next to the Selects Galvatron and everything. But dear God, messing around with it tonight. The frigging shoulders on this thing are weak as shit. They are awful. It looks all right here, doesn't it? Look, holding a pose, lovely. And then if you get below a certain point, they just basically drop. There he goes. And get up there, you bitch. Anyway, so there you go. So Cyclonus would be my choice of character. But if I had to choose a second character, because somebody else might have chosen Cyclonus, probably Springer. Just because I was never a massive fan of the Autobot characters from the film, but I always thought Springer was quite cool, and he had the line. He had literally the most iconic line of the film.
Yeah.
Never mind any of this one shall stand, one shall fall bollocks. Everybody knows the most iconic line of the 86 movie was, I've got better things to do tonight than die. And for a good few years...
Well, you kind of showed that, didn't they? Because when he got attacked by, was it the Sweeps and Cyclonus and Galvatron, he fucked off and left Bill Daniel, didn't he?
I love the bit where they all just abandoned. Never mind Daniel. I love the bit where they abandoned RC. That was just great. And then like, oh yeah, he's not in yet. She's not in yet. Rather, a Perceptor when they all run off with Blur. That was more Blur when they all like drive off. And when we watched that, I can't remember who it was now.
I cowered in the car.
Childhood negligence.
Perceptor on his 2 feet was as fast as Blur just running. So give Perceptor his dues.
Why are you finding these plot holes for us?
They're not plot holes. They're important parts of the story that just happen not to make sense.
Drop throughout.
Springer acted the opposite of what his voice and character is supposed to be. He's meant to be tough and strong, but he would have held the line, and yet each time he just fucks off. Like,
well, he would have got beaten by Redgar, wouldn't he, in the fight on Junkion? Because he was down on the ground and he was blocking the axe blows with his sword, which then snaps in half. And just before Redgar delivers the killer blow, Daniel, of all flipping people, knocks him down with a flipping big metal girder.
If I was
the
Daniel,
shame Springer must have felt.
I would have. If I was Daniel, I would have let Springer die and said, "Dad, I'll teach you just to leave me and tell me to transform." Fuck you.
Transformers the show. Transformers the movie.
That would have been a very different movie. Jamie just going to the Decepticons. Screw the Autobots. They left me to die. I'm joining them.
Here's the Matrix.
Let's go kill some fuckers.
Right, cool. Rohan's still there. Rohan, go away.
Oh.
Right, cool. So I chose Astro Train, so I think this counts. I was going to go for Quietus. No, I wasn't. I was going to go for this guy. So Astro Train. So this is Fanstoys Astro Train. So what's your favourite toy from the movie? I would have to say it's this guy, just because he's such a good Transformer. He's so good in all 3 modes. He's from the movie. He's cheap. He's £15. The detail on him is fantastic. Come on, camera focus. There's not many. He's definitely my top 5 Transformers, I would say, of all time. So appeasing if you get him, and you can see the detail on the back.
Is that actually still £15 then to pick up like second hand? Because a lot of the time you and Alexis have mentioned about how cheap these Legend figures are, and then when I look in like some of the chats about Legend figures, people say about how they're actually gone up in price.
Yeah, you do. So if it's New Age or Magic Square, especially New Age goes up a lot. Iron Factory goes up a lot. Rohan's saying it's about £25 now.
That's still not that bad, £25, if the engineering on it is as good as you guys have.
Oh, it's insane. It's one of the best transformations there is. Completely original as well. So you won't see on. If they just got this and just made it like 3 inches bigger, made it a Hasbro version, Hasbro could rip it off because they own it. done exactly the same robot, just made it a little bit bigger, put some more detail in because it's bigger, that Hasbro fans would be screaming that's the epitome of like perfect Transformers.
So if Hasbro chose to literally rip off a third party company's design of a figure based on their character, do they get into trouble for that?
No,
surely they own the IP.
Wouldn't.
So
yeah, exactly right. Then it would be fair game. They might just put the third party company's nose out of joint, but that's all they do.
I feel someone should argue against that point just for the hell of it, even though we don't have any clue what we're talking
Evening,
about.
Rudy.
I mean, they've started like nicking bits, like hiding the hands and stuff. Good transformations I've seen them nick, and now they're picking up the QC issues. They're replicating that from a lot of.
I do love that when
what would they
third-party
think of
collectors
next?
moan about Hasbro's QC, like there's never any QC issues with third-party figures. They're always perfect. It's fine. Yeah. If there was mass-produced, they'd have the same problems.
We just don't talk about them because we're crying on the inside.
But I promise you,
Not at £25.
Mech Toys is not one of them. They're ones like I don't think I've ever had a dud Mech Toys, and they're the cheapest ones, and they turn up brilliant every time. Right, who would like to go next?
I will go next if that's okay. So I chose. Let me get that out of the way. I chose Galvatron, and in particular, Fanstoys Sovereign, which cost not £25, but I really loved him because of the character he was in the movie, but the character he became after the movie as well. Like, I was sad watching it as a kid, how he wasn't Megatron, how it wasn't Optimus, but I like the fact he was more unhinged than Megatron. I like the tactness and the agenda style play of a Megatron, but I also like the complete chaos of Galvatron. And the movie did it really well. This is a brilliant bot. You know, I'm never going to have it in turret mode. It's so much more appealing. But that wasn't entirely the one I was going to show. I was going to show my old boy from back in the day. And I got him about, what, 95?
Nice.
For a total of £3. So his cannon's long gone. But seeing the Sovereign re-released in these colours, in the old colours, which, you know, I could get it, but I don't want to drop £200 on a different paint scheme. But as I've gotten older, I like these grey colours more. And when I was a kid, when I had just this, I didn't like it as much because it wasn't the purple or blue Galvatron from the film. But yeah, seeing it now and the Generation Selects that came out, the Chug version in these colours for what we got of Kingdom. Oh, there's an elf. Let's just watch the elf.
He's doing to the elf what he once did to a kitten.
That's a tad disturbing.
He can't hear this. You say what you want about him now. He can't hear a word we're saying.
Arsenal shit, Arsenal shit, Arsenal shit. But anyway,
Paul is a Tottenham fan.
He is. You know me. But there you go. That's my choice. That is a brilliant mold of Galvatron, the perfect Galvatron, I would say. But I do have a good appreciation and a soft spot for the colour scheme and what this toy represents. He's a big boy as well. He's a chunky old lad for toy back in the day. That's why I've still got him. So if anyone's got a spare cannon for this Galvatron that they don't want, please send it my way.
Is there anything else you want?
No, that will do.
Do the batteries will still work? Not the batteries.
No, long gone.
The actual noises and stuff like that.
No, long gone.
Mine still makes the noises, but they just sound like they're in pain now. Like they're wishing
Aren't we all?
death.
Aren't we all?
Ask me again in the morning.
Oh dear.
About the same size, aren't they? Like Fanstoys and the original one.
Actually,
almost,
yeah, there's
almost
not,
identical size.
There's not a lot in that.
You see, the Selects version is of the Legacy type. Well, it's not Legacy, was it? Was it Kingdom? Galvatron? That's a bloody good looking figure for just.
Was it Legacy? It was Legacy because they re-released it, didn't they?
No, they re-released it in Legacy, but I suppose with the fixed shoulders. Let's not get into that freaking argument again. But the Select version is just beautiful. He's up there just with Black Zarek and Scourge and Cyclonus who's down here now. But beautiful thing.
Right, Jeremy, you're doing well there. Sir.
Did you get Victory Saber this week?
No, you just got a box.
I was just saying the packaging it comes in, you can actually open it up and it makes a massive poster.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
You know, which is actually quite cool.
The artwork's brilliant on that as well.
Claire will be ecstatic when I stick that on the wall. Probably just at the head of the bed.
I was going to say, yeah, do it in the bedroom. Do it in the
That
bedroom.
makes my small face really happy.
I always do it in the bedroom.
Oh, Christ, mate. Put it away.
Right, so
That's disturbing.
Please stop showing my art of you. It was meant to be private.
It was never meant to be private.
Hate me like one of your French girls. Right, last thing to do. So keep us updated on the Netherlands score. We'll have to
Discussion.
do it here. So discussion time. Let's find the discussion time rhyme.
We now return to the Transformers.
Thanks for joining us for tonight's discussion, which is going to be our favourite video game ever. It could be Transformers related. I suggest, like, what's your favourite Transformers video game, and what's your favourite video game? That'd be a great way to do it. Jamie?
I was going to say RC was my favourite figure from the movie.
Oh yeah, we didn't really let Jamie know.
You said Star Saber.
Trombone time.
You said Star Saber, and I thought Star Saber's not in it.
A strong female character, because I'm a feminist. You know, I support.
All right. You trying to get the extra likes on the video?
And for me, I'm ashamed that there was only one person who had the guts to pick a female character. Because
you mean the only female character in
the mine are gender neutral, thank you.
What about Wheelie and Daniel?
I didn't pick them.
They're female.
Wheelie and Daniel?
They're not.
I picked Galvatron. I wouldn't.
Cool. Sorry, I thought you said Star Saber. Do you wanna, was RC your choice?
That's okay. What we'll do it next week.
Alexis,
we'll just edit this bit out, shall we?
Actually,
right.
my favourite game. Oh, do you know this? It's like an epoch. It's like, you know, each generation. I think when I was younger, my favourite game was probably close to Championship Manager. It was a game I could, you know, imagine. And then after Championship Manager, there was like, you had Oblivion, you know, the precursor to sort of like Skyrim, even though it was Morrowind before that. So you had those sort of epic games. And then to me, you had like Xenoblade Chronicles, and that's sort of the series that evolved. And I know you got your Resident Evils and stuff like that. But I think a game which is transversed, you know, almost 3 decades of playing, has got to be the Total War games.
It's Warhammer, isn't it?
No, not Warhammer. The latest one is Total War Warhammer, but they do Total War Rome, Total War Shogun, Total War Medieval. You know, they've done epochs, you know, certain parts of history, you know, where you get strategy units and, you know, and you build an empire, you conquer cities, you lay waste, you siege, you pillage. You know, it's like a Saturday night out.
And then you played a game.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And it's been one of my favourite games to play. It's been one of the main reasons that I tend to upgrade my gaming PC. Because, you know, when that game comes out, you start to think, will my PC be able to handle the requirements, the system requirements? So you start looking into it and then start working on, do I need to upgrade my system? And it's basically, you know, it's a game I followed from the very original Total War. It used to be, what was it? There used to be a TV show called, was it Wargaming? Where they used the original Total War sort of like, you know, code or software, and people would go and sort of fight historical battles against each other. And
Skirmish on Attack +1 with Alan Partridge.
No. But yeah, so Total War for me was sort of a game it's went through all the decades. One main reason I've always upgraded my PC, even though there's always been fun games like Gears of War, Halo, which always capture your imagination.
Was chat Streets of Rage 2 wrong? Assassin's Creed 2 or Quake 2? Streets of Rage was great. Rohan, no, it was average.
How many
best.
times do we have to tell the audience they're not allowed an opinion that's different to ours?
I know. If only they understood.
Now,
Championship Manager, that does count. That was a brilliant
Yes.
game. Come on then. Site 3 plus Knuckles. Yeah, I remember that then. It's not bad. Thunder Force 5. Andy, go on, talk to me.
Yeah, I'm not as big a gamer as you guys, but there's ones that always stood out for me. WWF Superstars, the arcade game. Loved that. Absolutely friggin' loved that game. And my brother still tells a story about one summer when the fair had come to our lovely town. And I was there in my Parker jacket, hand me down, by the way, in the arcade with my mates. And we were playing WWF Superstars. And I just kept winning and kept winning and kept winning. And like, was just killing it on this game. And I was totally into this game, sweating absolute cobs because I was wearing a Parker jacket in the summer. And I didn't know that a crowd of people had started gathering around, probably to find out why I was sweating so much. And I got to the last like championship match all the way through to it, and then friggin' lost in the last match, and it was just a dark time. So that one stands out. Recent games, probably that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, the Shredder's Revenge one, just because again it's loads of nostalgia about playing that game. Really enjoyed playing that, and I've been able to play that with my kids. They've really enjoyed it. And actually, this is the really weird thing. Claire's not into gaming at all, but she actually sat down and started playing the game with us. And we actually had a few weeks where we'd get the kids off to bed. And like, you're like, right, shall we? And it was like, yes, get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on. Come on then, and let's crack on. And we were just, just really good laugh, just kind of reliving that little bit of our youth. And then the biggies, Championship Manager. Championship Manager is just the best.
Is there anything better?
My son's trying to get me into Football Manager because he's into it now, and I just think it's too much to do on it now. It's like it kind of sucks a little bit of the fun out of it. I just want to get on and play games and win leagues.
I just want to search for players who have 20 in technique, and that's all I want to do, and then bid for them.
They're 15 years old. They're Cherno Samba, basically, and you stick them in there, and you're just going to absolutely rock the league. That's all you want. Find an 18-year-old Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and just next thing you know, he's scoring 50 goals a season.
And if they refuse, then put another manager into the club and find that player week on week until they join you. For like
I still remember the first time, and it wasn't till the very early 2000s. And one of my housemates, Lucky, he had Championship Manager at the time on his PC. And he got Russian and Diamonds to the Premier League. And I was like, how the bloody hell have you done that? You're not that good on this game. And he went, editor, mate. And it was the first time I'd realised you could actually edit the game and actually give like the team unlimited funds, basically. And that's what he'd done. And then he just bought his way. So
Rudy's still talking about Alan Partridge. He's on average skirmish gets a whopping 8,000 views. To put that in perspective, that's 11 times the population of MP.
Oh, Rudy, never change. And then last I'll throw in there because again, I'm not really an expert on computer games and stuff. I really enjoyed playing Fortnite with the lads. It's just it's just good fun. And I know it's more of a kids game, but it's just good fun. And then the last thing would be these bad boys.
Hey, there you go.
Now I've got a digital copy of this one, which is on 2 of my consoles now. But either of them, I mean, that was a revelation when it came out because it was the first time we'd had a properly good Transformers game, but it had issues, and it was like in this one they just solved almost all the issues, and the gameplay, the storyline, that bit with Metroplex when you kind of revive Metroplex and everything. Oh, there's so many iconic moments in this game and bits that went forward.
I've never played those games.
Oh, you must. You really must.
Don't make me slap you. I will send you my copy if I have to.
I was working at this time. I was teaching full time.
I was working. I still found time to game. Nowadays, but I blame children.
No, you've definitely got to play them, particularly the second one where you could actually play as Bruticus.
Yeah,
you play,
when you do that level, going through all the members of Bruticus, and then they combine, and you control Bruticus, and even the big finale of the game, you play as about 7 or 8 different characters through little bits of this massive battle going on. It's just genius. I just loved it. Yeah. And then afterwards, of course, things went a bit pear-shaped. But, maybe we'll get another good game soon. And yeah, Street Fighter 2 was a great game. Golden Axe, I remember, on the Mega Drive. Fantastic game. And Zelda. The Zelda games that I had as a kid. I can't even remember all of the names, but I just loved them. And Mario Kart, but who doesn't love Mario? If you don't love Mario Kart, you don't love life. I keep
You're
looking this way
wrong.
because Lucas has poked his head through the doorway, but he's
Video
he's
games.
probably the only human being in North Yorkshire right now who's warm, so he's not got a top on, so he's not coming on camera. Are you going to say hello?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
At least it's the same. At least you're not
What's the
coming
score
on
in the
without a top
football,
on.
Lucas?
Don't know, but that's the score is 1-0 Argentina.
Yeah, it's not now. It's 2-2 in extra time.
Oh.
You're no use. Go find out the score for me. Shut the door on your way out. You're supposed to be in bed. Anyway, that's a different issue.
So
Find a score.
probably-
Find a bet.
For me, it was probably Championship Manager was fucking amazing. So many amazing games and so many experiences, and that's what you think about, isn't it? Like I remember Final Fantasy VII. If you've never played it, it was just when we were just getting into CD-ROM gaming,
That's
and
pinnacle.
you were used to the SNES, and the SNES was amazing. Like Legend of Zelda on the SNES was my favorite games ever. But when I remember getting it, and I didn't understand it. Like Cloud jumped off the train. I'd never played an RPG before. And I didn't understand why I couldn't just hit the person in front of me. I had to wait my turn. It was so tactical though, and it slowly built up. And you go through this massive city, and the city's huge. You go through everywhere. I'm slowly learning how to do this RPG element. You start building up. You get materia, don't you? You build your stats up. Something I'd never really seen before. And then finally, I think I'm probably near the end of the game now. You go all the way up to the Shinra headquarters, and then you leave the city, and it was just such an amazing point. It was like you go into a world, and it was like seeing like you'd been in this little thing which you thought was the whole world, and you come out and you understand there's like 40 of these worlds, and they're everywhere, and you can travel to all of it. And it was my moment. I remember, and I wasn't young. I was probably like 14 or 15. And I remember getting my mum going, "Mum, this fucking game, look at it." Like, I thought that was the game, but this is the game. And you go out and like there's, you can look at there's so much lore and stuff, and there's hidden stuff, and there's like fan theories and things you can do. And the plot was amazing. You had the characters, like it was so cool, like Sephiroth and Cloud. What happens with Ares? Like I won't spoil it, but fucking hell, it was like a 30-year-old game now. If you don't know what happens to Ares, it's the most gut-wrenching thing, and you never got that in the game before, ever, like in the game that I'd ever played. What happens with Ares, you never got that level of adult, and so it absolutely blew me away. And yeah, Final Fantasy VII, it was the best story
And it was
I've ever played.
An awoke ecological game as well, wasn't it?
Would you say awoke?
Well, what I'm saying is, you know,
Well, he was trying to be very ecologically friendly, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was. And that was annoying. You're right, it was. And they carried it on with Advent Children. Advent Children was really like ecological, and it was a bit like, remember the first what?
Do you remember the first time, like with some of your favourite games? Literally remember the first time you ever played them?
Yeah.
Because I have a very vivid memory of the first time I played any Championship Manager game. And that was visiting, I think I was about 15, and we went to visit my friend's brother at uni, and he had it on his computer, and we started a session in the afternoon, drinking and playing the game. And I remember it very vividly because the team I chose to be was Huddersfield Town. And about 2 years later, I went to Huddersfield University, in part because I played as them on Championship Manager, and I really wanted to go. I know it sounds stupid, but it was a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. It was, Huddersfield.
Well, I liked the Championship Manager was one of my friends was in it. And that was like, you know, Lauren Gibson. That was the original Championship Manager came out, and you go on to play it, and he was there. He was.
Well, here's the thing for you, quick one. Have you ever met somebody who was an actual player on Championship Manager that you managed and did really, really well in real life?
Neil Ruddock.
Because I know. Oh, Neil Ruddock. That's a pretty good one. When did you meet Neil Ruddock?
He's my mum's cousin, so and he used to live near us, so we used to see him, all the time. So
wow,
you've said, I think you've said that quite a while ago. Yeah.
Can I just point out that Dave Waste has posable nipples said Skitchin, which is a rollerblading game, which was like it's quite rare now for the Mega Drive, which I don't think anyone in the world would ever realise. So
Dave.
That is a lovely.
You're so niche.
That's so niche.
I met Stephen Haslam, who we all know because of his wonderful footballing success, who was a right back for Sheffield Wednesday, who actually went on to do absolutely nothing with his career. And I met him at a party that I went to with a girl I was seeing at the time many years back, and she said, "I'll come to this party," and me and this Stephen Haslam were the only two people there who weren't accountants. And so we gravitated towards each other, and we were chatting. And he said he said, "Oh, I used to be a footballer." I said, "Oh, all right." And we basically got to who he was, and I basically spent the next half an hour explaining to him how I made him into England's best right back. And I can't tell to this day if he was impressed or slightly scared.
It's really said, "I did for you what you couldn't do yourself."
He used to maraud up and down that wing back position.
Did you guys ever do a LAN party where you bring your PCs to other people's houses and you connect all your PCs up to play?
No, I haven't.
No, we had girlfriends at the time. But
do you mean your girlfriends weren't playing computer games as well? Because me, Lynn's a big gamer. She's like completed Oblivion and stuff like that. She was playing World of Warcraft.
The girls I hang out with didn't really understand what computers were. But they did understand how to blow in their nettles outside Morrison's. Blowing their nettles outside Morrison's.
Sounds painful.
Interesting mix.
So going on from what Andy said on the Transformer games we got, they are probably two of my favourite Transformer games. I'm just going to talk about those. They were two of the best. Transformers Devastation was quite good, but that was just very much for G1 gamers. It was, let's get framework, let's get piece of colour, let's make them look like the 86 movie, let's make a game out of it. But as Andy said, Fall of Cybertron, War for Cybertron, it was criminal that there wasn't a third. There sort of was, but not really.
What would it have been called?
What would it have been called? Return to Cybertron?
Well, at the end of the Fall of Cybertron game, that's when they go through basically the kind of portal, and they would have arrived on Earth. So you would have had the next chapter of it on Earth, wouldn't you?
They did blend it in.
Did it.
Yeah, they did it with the movies, didn't they?
It wasn't the same company, though, was it,
no.
by that point? Hadn't they taken it off them? And then what we got was this horrible mishmash of the Bayverse mixed in with what we'd had before, and it just didn't have any of the really good stuff.
But going on to other games aside from Transformers, I mean, Paul went on with Final Fantasy VII. I got the remake of that, which is just part one. The remake, I would say, is probably one of the best games I've ever played because it's just brilliant. I mean, the original game was, of course, excellent, but I played the remake. It's beautiful. It's so free-flowing. I just love it. Going back to when I started, I've always been a big Sonic fan. That was my first game on a Master System in something like 1990. Sonic was my first sort of love. And like you said, Andy, do you remember where you were? And I remember kind of Sonic the Hedgehog on the Master System, then again on the Mega Drive, then 2 and 3 and Knuckles, Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast, Shenmue, spent hours of my life playing Shenmue.
Oh, Shenmue, when you think of a game that you played when you remember where you were and you turned it on and you played it, Shenmue.
Was Sonic the Hedgehog on the Master System then? I thought Sonic the Hedgehog launched with the Mega Drive.
It launched on the Mega Drive. It came out on the Master System afterwards.
Oh, right. Sorry. That's right.
Master System was a
remastered version. The first remastered game.
Right.
It's a suckier version of the Mega Drive.
But I remember playing it. I remember there was a bus. I was at Alton Towers, and my dad, there was a bus with the Sonic the Hedgehog on it. It hadn't came out yet, and they were playtesting it, and they were letting people come and play it. On this like Sonic the Hedgehog promotional bus saying Sonic's coming. I went up and it was on the Mega Drive, and I was I was a Nintendo fanatic, so I played it, and it was amazing. So and I never realised until years later. I must have played it years before it came out.
I remember that promotional bus. It had a message on the side saying that if you bought the game, there'd be £365 million extra a month for the NHS, and it never really materialised. Oh wait, sorry, that's Brexit. Sorry,
that's a different Hedgehog. But there is another game.
This was back in the day in the 90s where if you could spend 360 minutes with Jimmy Savile in the bus, you got the game for free.
Oh my God, 360! Jesus.
Yeah. But Paul, there's a trailer, wasn't there, that you downloaded for me earlier tonight? Because there's another game series that I've played since year dot, and a new installment is coming out. Trailer was dropped at the Game Awards yesterday.
Oh, great!
I don't remember hearing about a new Animal Crossing game.
That's a good game. That's all right.
Okay, so this is
I don't get it. I don't get the appeal.
It's simple fun.
I don't either. You want to see this new Animal Crossing? Here's the
I packed 2 shrimp, 4 Russians, and my driveway.
Wait till you see the whores Jordy bought me.
You're such a dick.
Peggy 16.
チン。
さあ全人類よ、世界を闘争で満たせ。頼むぞ風間陣。お前を殺し全てを終わらせる。俺の血を引いていながらこの程度か。風間、俺はまた守れないのか。
もろもろの我がこと罪汚れ清めましょう。
Yeah.
Oh, wow. For a fighting game, there's not many women with big boobs in it, is there? It's just like
that is probably Virtua Fighter, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not for me. It's not my
It's not for me. Not for a feminist like Jamie.
Not for a feminist like RC.
Women have the right.
Not like Soul Calibur, which makes women look gorgeous like they are.
Objectified is the word you're looking for.
Be Lei. Lei was always my character in Tekken. Tekken 2 and Tekken 3 were amazing. I remember my friend broke his leg. This lady, we were going to college, just slowly drove over him. She was like 80 years old. Knocked him over, crushed his leg. He's absolutely fine now. But on the back of it, he got all summer. He had to stay in plaster. He got like £8,000 as well, compensation. And so like he bought a PlayStation, and we were only like 18 at the time. And he thought he was so money. I'm so rich. We were standing on the bridge of Ashford in Singleton, and he was throwing pound coins into the river because he was like, "Oh, I've never spent £8,000. How could you spend that?" I think it lasted 2 months.
No.
But it was.
Van Dijk's just had the first penalty save.
Oh,
it's a weird.
Even I put it on now.
But yeah, it was brilliant sitting there playing Tekken 3 and Tekken 2, and Lei was my favourite. Who was your favourite character?
It was Lei Wulong for a long time. Then I went.
You can choose your own one. You don't have to choose mine.
Yeah, thanks. I went to Harang as well in Tekken 3, but then everyone chose him. Now I'm King, to be honest. The wrestler.
Can you remember Brian?
Yeah, the crazy guy.
Is that the one with the cat head?
Yeah, and the leopard skin. Yeah,
that's Armor King.
Armor King with the shoulder pads. Yeah. But I love all the characters. I really love the lore. They've actually turned it really into a story now, because that was always a thing with the fighting games. Like, you just button bash, it's mindless. But they've actually made a story.
I think you'll find Dead or Alive has plenty of lore and explains all the alternate costumes.
All the reasons.
When was the last game that came out? 2005.
Yoshimitsu!
Yoshimitsu's been in every bloody game. No, he's great. He's Yoshi. His skin in Tekken 3 was his best one. He had like a big mushroom head and a green lightsaber sword. That was the best one. He's a weird octopus in Tekken 7. I don't like that. But yeah, there's arguably too many characters, but I'm just a big Tekken fanboy. Always have been. But again, one final one, Red Dead Redemption 2. A game I just...
I've got that. I've not played it yet. I've had it for like 3 years.
Yeah, I'm just...
Not played the first one. The first one was quite...
Oh, the first one was amazing. I even got the zombie add-on.
Yeah. The zombie
I used to like
was quite good fun.
Kidnapping people and putting them on the rail tracks and then just watching the train come.
You can still do that.
What about in the game, Jamie?
Well, if I did that in fucking Britain, the train would never come.
That's it.
You can put them in front of the rail.
Beat them to death myself and put them out of their misery. They'll probably die of old age first before the fucking train.
It's like Argentina are going through.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Right, who hasn't been?
I think we all have.
I think we all have, haven't we?
Yeah.
That's it. We're done.
Cool.
We're finished in less than 2 hours.
My God.
Nicely done.
And we haven't offended anyone.
Which is the main.
Who we care about.
We don't talk about Go there, so that's why.
Cool. Well, please get a ticket to TF UK Con. Please head to Transformers the Show on Facebook and join us there. Yeah, you're right. Do you know what, Drew? You're right. Let's go streaking. We'll do that. So we'll see you next week. We're off to take our clothes off. Have fun and good luck to England tomorrow night. Go on, Arrowfyre, do it live.
No.
You can't. He'll break the internet.
Yeah, you don't want that.